Hi, everyone. I am Lana Quest, and welcome to the Quest Show. I'm a little late. I apologize. So I'm going to jump right in. But first, how is everyone? How are you doing? It's been a tough couple of weeks. I try to look for some positive news. I think I'm pretty sure there are some positive things happening in the world, but it sure doesn't feel like it from where I'm sitting. Like it just seems like we are on fire. And I really do have a hard time coming here on Thursdays, even though I come every other Thursday. I do have a hard time getting here only because it's just, when you're ingesting so much all week, come towards the end of the week, you just kind of want to start to wind down again. However, it is cathartic, I guess, to come here and talk about what's going on. So that's what we're going to do. But before we do that, please hit the like button, share this video, share it to a social media platform, what have you, and subscribe. Why not? Hit the notification bell for when I do come on. I mean, not scripted. I have notes. We just come here and talk about what's going on in the week, how you're feeling about it, how I'm feeling about it. We can all just, you know, have each other. You need someone out here. It's hard times, but I don't even know where to begin. I haven't been here in 2 weeks. So, Texas? Y'all want to start with Texas? We might as well start with Greg Abbott and A.G. Paxton. But how interesting is it that Ken Paxton is the Attorney General after being indicted for fraud? Like, let's just sit with that for a moment. Indicted and impeached. He settled pre-trial, and now he is the Attorney General for Texas. Make it make sense. We can't. We just can't. It's just, this is what we're dealing with Republicans. Like, they just don't care. But so let's go. Texas. Donald Trump knows that midterms are coming. He also realizes that his chance to hold on to the House of Representatives is very limited. He's underwater. Polling is underwater. People don't like his bill. People don't like how he's doing immigration. Just the hardcore cult MAGA, but people don't like it. The economy, what's going on, right? Like, are your prices going down? This is what he promised, right? He's not bringing prices down. He's actually having tariff deals. Are they deals? Don't even know. He's implementing tariffs that are going to raise the prices of everything. So he's underwater in the polls. So he calls Greg Abbott and Ken and says, hey, can you spot me 5? We just need 5 more seats. And then we can hold on to the Congress. So is Governor Abbott and Ken Paxton going to say, well, you know what? It's mid-decade. Normally, redistricting happens, after a decade after we get the census in, so we can't do that. Did they say that? Oh, why would they say that? Why would they do that? Republicans don't move like that. They're like, yeah, fine. We'll use AI to draw some maps right away. And then we're not going to deal with the flooding that just happened, right? We're not going to do any votes and bills to make sure that these counties that are in flood zones have what they need. We do that later. Who cares if the kids died? Who cares if camp counselors died? Who cares if families died? Our orange daddy Donald Trump needs 5 more seats. That's what we're going to take care of first. And that is exactly what they set out to do. However, Democrat lawmakers were like, nope, we're going to break quorum, which I didn't know what quorum was. I guess that's the minimal that you need to take a vote. So they left town. No MAGA. They didn't flee. They didn't run. They left, took strength. That was them showing strength. Like, listen, we're not just going to sit there and roll over and watch you guys take this vote to redistrict. Because if you don't know what redistricting is by now, which you should, and you can also Google it because Google will give you a better definition than I could ever. But they're basically going to chop up some already existing districts. So if you have these districts, say, I don't know, for example, you have 7 districts. They chopped them up, right? 7 Republican districts, very red MAGA, chopped them up to make 5 more districts. So now you have 12 extra Republican districts, 12 districts, 5 extra, right? Like, so that's what they want to do. So, every district, you have to have a representative. So if you have 5 extra Republican districts, then you're going to have 5 representatives going to the House of Representatives. That will give them the majority. So those Democrats are like, we're not going to stay here and allow you to do this because you're rigging the game. So they left and they got out of Dodge. Now Greg Abbott and Kim Paxton, the indicted guy whose wife is leaving him because he cheated on her, are now butthurt and threatening the Democrats to, I don't know, arrest them. They've called the FBI, Kash Patel. Go and get them to do what? They didn't break any law. What is the criminal offense? They want to remove them from, how are you removing someone literally that the voters put in? Who are you? Who are you? And the interesting thing is that Mike Johnson ended Congress early. He sent them home because he did not want to vote on Epstein. So he sent everyone home. But that's okay. Again, Republicans are the biggest hypocrites on the planet. And thank God that Democrats are actually now at a point where we're like, there's nothing to lose here. We have nothing to lose here. Let Greg Abbott and Kim Paxton call the FBI and play these games. What are you gonna go ahead? Are you gonna hunt them down and then what? What does it look like? You put them in handcuffs? They're not arrested. So how do you get them back? Now they're investigating Beto O'Rourke because they're like, the Democrats took bribes from your super PAC. What are you talking about? It's so maddening and it's so ridiculous. But let's hear some people talk about it. Let's hear Gavin Newsom talk about this.
Trump president. I think there's a growing recognition in this country, not just with Democrats, independents, but also Republicans, that de facto the Trump presidency ends in November of next year if the American people are given a fair chance and a voice and a choice. We will take back Congress. The President of the United States recognizes that, so he wants to rig the game.
Yeah.
Wants to change the rules.
Yeah.
Midterm. They're very effective at this. They've done this in the past. They've got a lot of experience doing this. He dials up Greg Abbott, says, I need 5.
5.
12,000 votes. Georgia, I need 5 House seats. He obliges. And they're doing a midterm rejection of objectivity and independence. A act that we could criticize from the sideline, or an act that we can respond to in kind, fight fire with fire in the spirit.
Fight fire with fire, right? So now the thought is, so if Texas is going to redraw their maps, then Illinois will redraw their maps. California will redraw their maps so that Democrats are picking up more seats in Illinois and in California. New York should do the same. I believe Maura Healey is talking about doing the same. I don't know how many seats, because we have just about all of our districts vote blue except for one, maybe. So I don't know. I don't know. Who cares? Just make some more seats and make them Democratic. Like, who cares at this point? It's just do it. And this is how crazy it is, because now Trump has upped the game and has sent Vance to Indiana to see if they could redistrict and redraw their maps now. So, like, this is just it. It's going to get ridiculous. So buckle up, people. But just know that it is not anything that Democrats have initiated. Democrats are playing defense, right? Like, they're like, you know what? We're gonna do the same. You do it, we're doing the same. We're gonna ramp up too. Because Republicans have never shown any respect to Democrats. Mitch McConnell has never shown respect to Democrats. We lost a couple of Supreme Court seats because of Mitch McConnell. Do what you got to do, Democrats. But we can't talk about Texas and not have Jasmine Crockett talk about Texas and what's going on, because no one talks about her state the way she can get things across. So let's hear her talk about it.
We're talking about someone who had been under felony indictment in the state of Texas for almost a decade. In fact, he was indicted before the felon in the White House was indicted. We're talking about someone who had been under federal investigation. We're talking about someone who was impeached by his own party and then was not convicted, as his wife sat in the jury on the Senate side. And now she has said, I want to divorce you. And she's stating that it's biblical reasons. And I guess it had nothing to do with that fake Uber account that he had when he was going to see his mistress that was a part of his impeachment trial. Let me tell you, there is drama on top of drama, and there definitely are no family values whatsoever to be found. And now we know that this same attorney general has decided that he wants to threaten these lawmakers, because they are the real criminals in the state of Texas, not the guy who should be behind bars, but the lawmakers who have decided that in a majority minority state, they should have districts that are reflective of the people so that they can actually be in alignment with our Constitution, because that's exactly what the 15th Amendment was about.
And that's the bottom line. The district should represent the people, and they're not doing that. It's like the elderly, people of color are not getting represented, not being represented, because they keep redrawing the maps to only represent a certain people. Hi, baby Juggernaut. How are you? Thanks for coming, girl. Thanks for coming. So yeah, that's what's happening. But I did find something that did make me smile. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because it is 3 minutes, but I'm gonna let these guys talk about the redrawing of the map. They're going to act out the drama for us. So let's listen to them, because again, we need something to laugh about during these times. So enjoy.
Much this morning as Democrats.
Hold on. There we go. No, I don't know why it won't play. Hold on. Oh no, it got stuck. Oh no. Let's remove it and put it back. Hold on, guys. Let's try again. Oh no, baby's stuck. Oh, this is awful. Let me try one more time. I don't think the babies want to be on here. It could be my internet connection as well. Could be having an issue. All right. Nope, it's not back. Oh no. All right, so let's just move on. We'll get them back later on. I don't know. They're like, I don't even see them on my screen. They totally disappeared. Oh, hey Michelle, just having some technical difficulties here with my video. Try to add it to the stage, but no, it's not adding to the stage. All right. So anyway, also this week, I don't know, Trump was spotted on the roof of the White House. So was it cognitive decline? Was it a publicity stunt? Or was it a distraction? Let's let Maggie Reed tell you what she thought.
Oh no, Donald, don't do it. It would break my heart. Oh, he's just taking a walk on the White House roof like a weirdo.
Are you considering more renovations, sir?
I'm planning more renovations. Next time, you fact check before you get me. You really got my hopes up.
Got my hopes up too because, like, I don't know. It's just you're on the roof. But anyway, cognitive decline, publicity stunt, or distraction, or a little bit of all of it. Well, what did you guys think? A little bit of all of it? Probably so. I mean, when the beginning of the video, he actually went out there with a lot of people and then ended up walking back and forth by himself, that doing the thing, right? Like, because he wants a big ballroom, but I don't know what the roof has to do with the ballroom. Maybe he's gonna open up the ceiling or something. Like, why does the White House need a Gilded Age ballroom so they can all like circle jerk to the YMCA? Like, it's just so corny. Obama's like, hey, this tennis court, let's just make this a basketball court. Donald Trump is like, let's spend $200 million to make a ballroom for people who literally clap on the 1 and 3. You can't make this up. Like, what a ballroom? Why? Like, that's just, and talking about it was his money. That's also what he said on the roof. He was using his money. Like, that's tax dollars. Like, you ever wonder what is happening with all the money that he is getting? Like, all the bribes. You have Columbia University settling a case that's just a nonsense case, right? They just want him to go away so the students can start school, so they can do what they need to do. So they just pay him money, right? He's trying to get money from Harvard. He's gotten money from other schools. What is he doing with all of this money? Paramount paid him money because he sued them because he didn't like the way a Kamala Harris video was edited. It wasn't even his video. It was a Kamala Harris interview that he claimed that he did not like the way it was edited. And then Paramount pays him money. Why? Because they needed a merger approved. Because he's dangling the things. Federal contracts. Hey guys, if you need this, it'll be $300 million. Like, he is racking in that money. That money is not coming to the American people. That money's going to the ballroom. That money is going to retrofit that plane from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because he kept it. He said it's a gift to America. You ain't going to be on that plane, nor am I. That plane is not going to be some type of museum or exhibit where people can go in and look at it. He is taking that plane with him after our tax dollars retrofit it. They take money away from cancer research, from vaccine research, all of that money. Where is it going? He's already paid for the tax cuts for the rich. This is just going to his buddies and ICE, because apparently ICE's budget is bigger than our military's budget. Go figure. It's crazy. Ballroom, I'm going to read the chat. Sorry. Ballroom is a trip down Bonnie's dementia, right? Taking back exactly 80s and 90s. I know he's literally trying to go back further. Do you watch Gilded Age on is it HBO Max? He wants to go back to the Gilded Age when there was only two classes of people, the very rich and the super poor. And the rich, they were the ones that owned the railroads, they owned the banks and the companies. And then there were the poor people who were just fighting for scraps, white and black. That's what he wants. He wants poor and he wants the rich. In Trump's America, there is no middle class. And these MAGA, they will soon find out. But anyway, let's listen to some other explanations of why Trump was on the roof.
A walk and looking for more ways to spend. Here's how Donald Trump distracts the media and manipulates them every single time. At around 11 o'clock in the morning, Donald Trump went up to the roof of the White House. When they see him up there, the reporters start yelling at him questions.
This is Brian Baez. You'll see him a lot here. I use a lot of his content because his content is really awesome.
Trump then says he was on the White House roof because he was taking a walk and looking for more ways to spend my money for the country. Mind you, when he says he's talking about spending his money for the country, he's talking about taxpayer dollars. And on the surface, he's trying to play it off like he's up there trying to look at where they're going to build this 90,000 square foot ballroom that they're going to attach to the White House, which will, by the way, cost us $250 million of taxpayer dollars. Because, of course, there's no money for healthcare or education or food stamps or rent assistance, but there's money for a $250 million Trump ballroom. Of course, because it's never been done before, it's shock and awe, and this is historic. Donald Trump understands that. And now every top story, ABC News, New York Magazine, AP News, Forbes, is Donald Trump on the fucking White House. Here's why this all matters and why it's part of the distraction. Because at the same time that Donald Trump was on top of the White House for God knows motherfucking what, the New York Times was posting a new article, a look inside Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan lair. Private exclusive photos of Jeffrey Epstein's 7-story, 21,000 square foot townhouse that lives in New York. There was a lot of creepy shit in there. But here are some highlights. Here's Jeffrey Epstein with his girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell, who's right now serving 20 years in prison, who Donald Trump wants to pardon. You see them with the Pope, Fidel Castro, Elon Musk, Mick Jagger, Bill Clinton, and you guessed it, Donald Trump himself with Melania. That popular photo from the year 2000 of Jeffrey Epstein, Melania, and Donald Trump is on a picture frame in his motherfucking house. The new photos even show hidden cameras inside Jeffrey Epstein's bedroom. Where, by the way, Jeffrey Epstein also showcased a green first edition of a novel named Lolita that came out in 1955, in which an intellectual develops a sexual obsession with a 12-year-old girl and repeatedly rapes her. Here's the best part. Donald Trump is also wanting to quiet this down because there's an entire section that rips Donald Trump to shreds. Continues to put in the forefront of the mind that Donald Trump ran his fucking campaign on trying to get these Epstein files out to the public, declassifying them, but then he fucking backpedaled. Shit like this should enrage everybody because it's not just the fact that he's trying to say that he can spend $250 million of our money on a ballroom that nobody fucking asked for, but it should also tell you this. He would rather do outlandish performative tactics like this instead of doing something simple as sitting his ass down and declassifying the Epstein files because he's part of the cover-up. Fuck that. He actually is the cover-up.
He's not lying. He's not lying. just think about this presidency. Just think about where we are right now. I don't think I've heard Donald Trump sit down, give a presser, and talk about the price of goods, about like American stories, yes, Americans are having a hard time buying houses, in particular, young people who are graduating colleges, they're having a hard time paying. Like, he doesn't have those conversations. Like, in MAGA, I don't get what they don't get about this, because he does not talk about those. But you know what? I'm not sure why I'm beating myself up, because it's not about the economy with them. He hates who they hate. So they don't care if they are starving, as long as he is bringing back the Confederate flags, bringing back those racist ass statues of Robert E. Lee and the rest of the slave owners. Like, then they're okay. Like, they're calm, they're cool. Like, who cares about the economy when you got your Confederate flag back and it's flying in front of your house, and you can say the N-word and you just good. So who needs to eat, right? You don't need to eat when you got that. But right, Epstein, that is the thing. But anyway, wait 1 second. Before we move on to Epstein, let's go back to the Gotti ballroom, because let's look at, I just want you guys to see what he has done to the White House. If you have not seen this yet, this is part of it. And I don't know if you guys have actually seen him when he is a foreign dignitary comes, or a foreign president comes to talk to him, and he's in the Oval Office or wherever that room is that he entertains them. It's all gold in the background. They took away Martin Luther King's bust. That's the head thing. They took that away. So everything's like gold and gold trim and gaudy and just gross looking. So now the Rose Garden, look at this. Look at what he did. Like, only a monster does shit like this. Like, this is given, somebody lives here. Real people, humans that love to come outside and take a breath of fresh air and look at flowers. And then here is like some fucking stone figure comes out here who thinks he is a dictator and a king. Like, this is, if he could turn all that gold, he would. It is disgusting that he did that to a rose garden. Like, you didn't have to do that. It's just so bizarre. It's just, the mentality of it all is kind of wild to me. Like, that's just crazy right there. But also, who does this kind of renovation if you're planning to leave? Who's going to put in a $200 million ballroom, change every room in the White House to have gold accents? Who does that unless you actually think you are never going to leave that place? Like, he's trying to make that a DC Mar-a-Lago. Like, that is what he's trying to do. Don't sleep on that, because he's not going to try to leave. Do not sleep on that. That is what he's going to try to do. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. I'm Michelle, you're doing yard work. Well, you got to Google what that rose garden looks like, girl. It's a mess. So let's get to Epstein. Art of Distraction. He is doing that, but it is still in the news cycle because they keep doing stuff that doesn't make any sense. That keeps it in the news cycle. So why is Ghislaine has been moved to I don't even know, some type of, is it a federal prison? is it called a prison where she's at right now, or like some type of federal facility where she can do arts and crafts, she can train dogs. I think she was already doing yoga at the other federal prison, but this one she's doing yoga. She's probably doing some Pilates. Girl, she probably gets her hair done, her nails done, everything. So she's been moved after her conversation with Trump's attorney. What is his name? Blanche, however you say his name. So remember, Blanche went and met with Maxwell while she was in prison. Nobody knows why. Well, we know why. We know why, but they didn't really tell us why. So he met with her, I don't know, to get the truth. Now, I think that's actually what they tried to tell us. Like, he was meeting with her so he could get to the bottom of the things. It's like, so why are you meeting with her? Because you are not the prosecutor. So why not take the prosecutor, Jim Comey's daughter, who they fired, with you, because they know the case. So just why are you going alone? Why is there no readout about what happened? Just nothing. We get nothing. But again, non-MAGAs knew that Blanche went down there to talk to Maxwell to say, hey, we just need you to say that Trump wasn't involved. Just say the president wasn't involved, and then you get what you want. Let's make a deal here. That's exactly what they did. Like, who's the idiot who thinks that did not happen? And they really don't even care what you think, because the following week, Maxwell was moved to a less minimum security, I don't know, day spa? Like, she's a minute from being pardoned. Maxwell, right? So back up. Ghislaine, she just wasn't Epstein's girlfriend. Remember who she is. She is the one who scoped out the schools, the malls, and any other place that she thought little girls would be. She is the one that was pretty, well-dressed, rich, had all these connections, and told these girls, hey, you could be a model. Told them what they wanted to hear, told their parents what they wanted to hear. They trusted her. She took those girls and she groomed those girls. She taught them how to perform sex acts, the ones that Jeffrey Epstein liked. She taught them. And then when they were ready, they performed them, not only with Jeffrey Epstein, but with Ghislaine Maxwell. She was the one taking off their panties. This is per some of the victims. So she is a monster. She is a pedophile. She is the only pedophile and sexual abuser who's even in this type of facility. There are none in the U.S. in this type of facility. Funny thing is, Donald Trump and his immigration policies swear that they're getting the criminals off the streets, the rapists, the child traffickers. That's what she did. But they are about to pardon her. Trump wished her well. So it's still in the news because she's going to be pardoned. And the victims, what that is doing is now the victims are upset, rightly so. Because when we know this, right? When you move someone who's been convicted of the things that, or anyone, and there are victims, you notify the victims that there is going to be a change in status, that they are moving from a Florida facility to a Texas minimum security. Like, you have to tell the victims, and they did not. So now the victims are speaking out. They are writing letters, they are going on shows, and kudos to them. But it's got to be difficult because now they are being re-traumatized. They have to live this over and over and over again. And here we have Republicans swearing to God that they are the protectors of children and women. How so? They are literally protecting pedophiles. They went from, we're releasing the Epstein files, Bondi, they're on my desk, you're about to see them. Hey, everybody, we got them. Hey, giving out pieces of whatever they gave out to the MAGA press. Hey, phase 1, phase 2, this is what we're going to do. Then Bondi back in May goes, oh, shit. Trump's all over this shit. Calls Trump up. Yeah, daddy, you all in this. And he's like, well, you got to do something. You got to redact it. You got to do it. So now they're holding on to it because they know that he's all in it. But we already knew that. We already knew this. It's the Joe Rogans and the Andrew Schultzes and those bros who all voted for Donald Trump because they thought he was so cool and they thought he was so funny and that he would get to the bottom and solve the sex trafficking and arrest all the pedophiles. Like, they thought that, and now they're looking at him like, what the hell are you doing? This is the opposite of what we thought that you were going to do. I mean, haven't y'all been following this man? You don't know who he is? Wait, let's take a look at who Trump is, because I think I have a video of who he is from back in the day. Hold on one second.
At the dress, is everyone okay? You know,
Some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right, I want to make sure that
you're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay?
Is everyone okay? He's bragging about walking in on naked teens, right? Because his pageants, there were teens. They were between 16 and 18 to 16 and 21. He's walking in on them and he's laughing and bragging about it. You just say, hey, you get to do it because you own it. Just like you get to grab them by the pussy because they let you do it because you're a celebrity. He thinks he can do it because he is so privileged. He is so entitled. He said when he called Texas, he told Greg Abbott, I am entitled to 5 more seats. He is entitled to take what he wants, and that is what he does, and he does not care who gets hurt. He doesn't care about Americans. He will give Americans little crumbs, right? He will give MAGA a little bit of crumbs. Here, you get some tax cuts, right? Because America, I guess we got some tax cuts. I didn't feel it. I don't know when we are. But every president does that. Every president will do that. It's nothing new that he did. And they are set to expire. He gave his wealthy friends permanent tax cuts. Again, because he doesn't care about Americans. He don't care whether Americans live or die. It's not his business. He don't care. He is a taker. He doesn't care. So anyway, back to the Epstein thing. So now, there are some Republicans in the House that want to have the Epstein files released. At this point, I'm like, what the frick is the point? I mean, I'll go along with everybody, be like, release the files, hashtag Epstein cover up, because it is a cover up. But whatever they're going to release to the public, because they are going to release something, they're going to take his name out of it. Right? So what's the point? What is the point? And you have MAGA, they think everything is about sides. And this is really not about sides, because if Trump was a Democrat, he wouldn't have the support that he has, because we'd be like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? We would never. He knew who he could manipulate. That's why he chose Republicans. He knew their soulless. He knew that they were spineless. He knew that he could put, the way he's pushing them around now. Hey, listen, if you don't pass and vote for my bill, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to primary you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get someone to run against you. And they're like, okay, daddy, I'll vote for it. Like, that's how they are, because they don't care about their constituents. They don't care about Americans. They care about keeping the power, because as a lawmaker, you have power. And especially as a Republican lawmaker, and you're getting that money from the NRA and all those other places, this is where you're making the money. And they got a nerve to talk about those Texas lawmakers that are Democrats that left the state, talking about taking bribes, when those people make like $7,000 a year to be lawmakers in the state of Texas. They have other jobs that they have. They're not doing this to be rich. They are not doing this to be powerful. They are doing this for their constituents. They left the state of Texas for their constituents. They left the state of Texas not only for Texas constituents, for constituents in every state, to show you how bad this was, to make a point. They are sacrificing themselves. That's what you're supposed to do, not Republicans. Josh Hawley was like, yeah, I know that this bill is going to destroy the hospitals in my districts. I know that Medicaid is going to be cut in my districts. I know people are going to die, but you know what? Vote for it anyway. Excuse you? Why? It's crazy. So Comer in the House is pretending like he cares about the Epstein file, and he's going to get to the bottom of it. By golly, he's got all these subpoenas that he's just, going to send out. They're going to get served. There's a subpoena to Biden's DOJ, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Merrick Garland, Robin Mueller, James Comey. It's like just all of the Democrats and the Republicans he hates. That's who he needs to talk to about Epstein. Why not subpoena the victims? Why not subpoena them? Who knows more than the victims of Ghislaine and Jeffrey? Why not? Because you're pretending. You're doing play. You're acting like, yeah, we're trying to get to the bottom of Epstein, but we really can't, because Orange Daddy already told us that we can only go so far with this. So it's just all foolish. And here's the bottom line, everyone. He is in those files. He's in those files. He was at those sex parties. He had more pictures with Epstein than he does with his children, than he does with his wife. He just does. He was always there. And for someone to fight this hard for us not to know what's in there, yeah, stop playing. We already know. And the victims have already told us that he's been there. So he's been there. So let's move on. Did I have another video? Oh, no. Oh, another distraction. I forgot about that. How could I forget? Now Obama and the treason. So that's the next distraction. I guess Obama he did a treason. His whole administration, they did a treason. I don't know, MAGA thinks he's going to get arrested within a year, which is stupid because presidents have immunity now. Didn't you get the memo from the Supreme Court? Not that he did anything, because we all know that this, yet again, is another distraction. Like, he's literally saying that they are going to open up Russia investigations from 2016. He's gonna investigate Obama's where whoever his administration was back then. He's gonna investigate Hillary Clinton. It's just a distraction. What are we talking about right now? Why are we talking about Russia right now? Like, what is he saying? He's trying to say that Obama and officials improperly influenced and fabricated intelligence to sabotage Trump's campaign. We all know Obama. Obama barely speaks until, he's got to come out and do some campaigning for someone. That's the only time. He definitely does not speak in the middle of an election. That's not what he does anyway. But to say that he was fabricating intelligence to skew it towards Hillary, and then Trump still won, and you're still crying like a bitch, what is wrong with you? That's how you know that this is a distraction. This is how you know that he is so desperate just to keep moving things around, so we keep talking about it to get off of Epstein, because that's so friggin' ridiculous. But he wanted to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's literally hear what Obama said after the election. Let's hear what Obama said. So let's not speculate. Let's just hear it.
Could believe Putin's public election.
In early September, when I saw President Putin in China, I felt that the most effective way to ensure that didn't happen was to talk to him directly and tell him to cut it out.
The president assured Americans that each and every vote cast was legitimate, but that Moscow's election tampering should concern everyone, and questioned how some Republicans could believe Putin's public denials rather than the conclusions of the U.S. intelligence community.
Over a third of Republican voters approve of Vladimir Putin.
For the election.
So, in this video, Obama said that basically Russia did not tamper with the voting machines, that everyone's vote counts, basically saying that Trump won over Hillary legitimately. Every vote was counted. But what he also said was they didn't tamper with the machines, but they spread disinformation. That was the intelligence. That was the fact. That is what Trump is having a problem with. So he's saying, by Obama saying that he was skewing intelligence and he was trying to make it so that Trump did, it doesn't make it make sense. And you know what else doesn't make sense? Marco Rubio, who is now his Secretary of State. Marco Rubio said the same exact thing that Obama said. Same exact thing. So if you have a problem with Obama, why don't you have a problem with Marco Rubio? Let's listen to Marco Rubio talk about Russia.
Sowing chaos and measures taken by the government of Vladimir Putin to influence and to potentially manipulate American public opinion for the purpose of discrediting individual political figures, sowing chaos and division in our politics, sowing doubts about the legitimacy of our elections. So if you look at the situation we now face, here's the aftermath. We had an election where, after some intrusions into some state databases, there was a one nominee for president warning about fraud in the election. And then after the election, we have some on the other side questioning the legitimacy of the president-elect because of Russian interference. And we have the president-elect questioning the credibility of the intelligence community because of its findings. This sounds like a pretty effective and successful effort to sow chaos, to undermine credibility of our leaders and of our government institutions. In essence, it sounds like they achieved what they wanted, to get us to fight against each other over whether our elections were legitimate and divide us in the way that sows the sort of chaos that they sought to achieve.
Rubio said the same thing. So what's the problem? Again, distraction. Wait. No, okay, we got to end it with Trump's view on Russia, right? So while he's saying that while you tried to skew the election, you're saying that Russia interfered and Russia didn't interfere.
He doesn't respect our president. And if it is Russia, which is probably not, nobody knows who it is, but if it is Russia, it's really bad for a different reason, because it shows how little respect they have for our country when they would hack into.
Pause. Hilarious how he talks about Russia having little respect, right? Because he's trying to disrespect Obama, when right now Putin is running circles over his dumb ass. He's like, I'm going to end this war as soon as I get into office. Day 1, day 2, the first week. Here we are, over 100 days. Ceasefire. Putin's like, ceasefire what? Yeah, okay. Putin doesn't have Trump to think about. Now Trump's like, oh, well, I'm going to do sanctions. That'll do it. It's like, dude, go sit down somewhere. He's the worst president on the planet, but let's keep going.
To a major party and get everything. But it would be interesting to see. I will tell you this. Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be.
Remember that? But Obama is the issue. When we all heard him tell Russia to interfere. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. All right, pardons. Who wants a pardon? Pardon time? Yo. So George Santos is trying to get himself a pardon. He's serving 7 years for fraud and illegal wire transfers and whatever else he was out here doing to people. He wrote a letter. No. Well, maybe he was. I don't know if he's in contact with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I shouldn't say that. But Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote a letter to the White House asking them to pardon George Santos. And Donald Trump was like, yeah, I've never met the guy, but he was 100% for Trump. So, 7 years, that's a long time. He'll probably pardon him. I mean, he was 100% for Trump. The only reason why he may not, I don't think George has any money to buy his pardon. So if he pardons George Santos, that means that George Santos is going to owe him his life. Like, he's going to have to do something for that pardon. You're not going to get anything for free. And this isn't how pardons are supposed to work. Oh my God, like, this is the stuff that is so frustrating. And it is so frustrating because I feel bad for like younger people who are just starting to like pay attention to politics, and they think that this is normal when none of this is normal. These things are not supposed to work like this. Blanche was not supposed to go and speak to Ghislaine Maxwell. He's like the number 2 at the DOJ, does not go to speak to Maxwell. Why would you do that? Like, there's no, it's just not normal. All of this is crazy right now. Crazy time. Trump does pardons by money. What can you give? It's a transaction. Everything is a transaction. What can you give him? Not, you've been in jail for this long. Are you sorry for your actions? What have you done to make up for it? What have you repented? Like, none of those things matter. He doesn't care. He doesn't care if you have not served one day. He will pardon you. Once you're pardoned, your victims don't get anything. Like, this is nuts. So George Santos probably, I don't know, that's up in the air again. He has nothing to give Trump, so who knows? Diddy is trying to get a pardon. There was reporting that Diddy's attorney contacted Trump for a pardon. Trump said that Diddy was hostile towards him when he was running, so that may or may not happen. I think it will happen because Diddy has enough money to make up for the hostility. So he will pay for his pardon for sure. Trump will just let him sweat it out for a little while because he has to feel like he's in power, but they will get those pardons. George Santos, I don't know. So the Weather Service is now hiring back hundreds of positions that got cut by Doge. Of course they are. Of course they are, because it was friggin' stupid to fire meteorologists or people that have specialties in the weather department that we don't know how the weather department runs. But with every service, there are people who specialize in certain data and tracking certain things. So when you get rid of those people, you have things like the floods. Not that they can prevent it, but they're not giving people enough time to know that this stuff is coming and happening. I don't know, kind of like them firing the people who worked on our nuclear stuff. Like, it didn't make any sense. That it was, oh my God, this administration is just awful. It's like they do stuff and then have to backtrack because it's so bad. Not to mention everybody in the FBI is being purged or they are leaving. So go figure that, people. America is probably more unsafe than we've been in like just years. Just imagine if people in the FBI, counterintelligence, all those people are leaving, like people who have been working there for decades, like the people with the experience are leaving. Our country is weak. Someone's going to be sleeping at guard. Like, who is watching over us? There's so many levels and so many things that have to be looked at. You got to look at like spies coming in. You got to listen to what they're saying. If there's going to be attack, you have people who have left those positions. We are not safe, not exaggerating. We are not safe. We are at our weakest right now because we are in turmoil. If you think these tariffs are like, whoa, like that, that's how our safety is. RFK cancels $500 million in funding for bird flu, COVID, and flu vaccines. What an idiot. I mean, but it's not him, it's Trump. And then he told whatever that lawmaker, doctor, somebody, he's like, he promised me he wouldn't do that. Like, what are you, an idiot? Of course, he's an anti-vaxxer. He doesn't believe in vaccines. And you know what? If adults don't want to get vaccinated, have at it. Don't get vaccinated. But your children should at least, if you don't want to give them the flu shot, the measles, y'all don't want to give your kids measles vaccines and polio vaccines? What's wrong with you? Whooping cough? Those things are going rampant right now in Texas, and it's going to spread. Like, they don't stay in one place. You need to protect your children. And vitamin A and cod liver oil is not going to do it, despite what RFK Jr. told you to do, because that guy bathed in a lake of bacteria with his grandchildren. So I don't know why you would want to trust him and somebody who is not a doctor. Because now children are ending up with liver disease, liver injuries, I think it's the liver, from all the vitamin E that they're ingesting because their stupid ass parents are like, okay, this will keep them from getting the measles because RFK Jr. said, why not listen to your doctor? I mean, seriously. I mean, just think about it. This goes along with like that Gilded Age, rich, poor. This is how we're going to get separated, right? He wants people, Americans, not to trust science, not to trust what your eyes are telling you, and not to trust doctors anymore. They're turning you against doctors. Like you're literally looking at Fox News for information about your health, which is crazy because Republicans, when COVID was here, they all were so happy when that vaccine came that they were first in line to get it. Before we could even get it, all those lawmakers, Republican lawmakers were getting their vaccines. But now they're telling you that vaccines are bad. Guess what they're going to do? Continue to give their children and themselves vaccines while half of America are against them. So that's going to continue to be that separation of the rich, right, are healthy. The poor are going to be poor, hungry, too sick to work, and he's cutting your Medicaid. So y'all don't get your vaccines and you get sick if you want. You're not going to be able to get on Medicaid because that's being cut. So see how it just doesn't make sense for you, MAGA? Like, that's what I don't understand. You don't want to get your vaccines. You listen to the RFK Jr. like he's a doctor. Then when you fall ill, you're not going to have any health insurance. You're not going to have any Social Security. You're not going to be able to get on Medicaid. But those immigrants, they'll be gone. So there's that. You'll be happy about that. Let's see what else is happening. I'm going to wrap it up. I know it must be 8 o'clock. 8:05. I said FBI is still purging. Wow. This sucks, right? No matter how you feel about the trans community, I don't know why anyone would be bigoted towards the trans community because they're not hurting anyone. They're not hurting you. Just leave people alone who are not bothering you because it ain't your business. That's just simple. It is not your business. You don't have to dress up like anything. Nobody's asking you to be trans. Mind your friggin' business. But this is the shit that pisses me off because now the Air Force on Donald Trump's command is saying that transgender people in the Air Force that have been in the Air Force for 15 to 18 years cannot retire early because they're not giving them their benefits. They're not getting retirement. If they retire early, they're not getting retirement. They can separate without benefits. And I don't even know how that's legal. If someone gave their life for 15 to 18 years, whether they were trans, gay, bisexual, however they ID, 15 to 18 years serving this country, and you're saying that they cannot take an early retirement, you're not going to give them their benefits after they've already served? How do you tell someone, imagine being at a job, because the military is a job. It is a dangerous job. But imagine being at your job, and because you are trans, your job is like, you work for the state. State's like, hey, I don't know what to tell you. You're trans, so you're not getting your pension. I'm sorry, you don't get a pension. You're trans. The fuck is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? That is yours. Like, I don't even know how that would hold up in court. Because you're trans? Like, so you're discriminating against me and holding my money. Because that is my money. You put money into a retirement. What are we talking about right now? Because you don't like the way I identify? I don't get to get my, after I protected you, after I protected this country, and you sat on your lard ass with bone spurs? I protected this country. I've gone to the Gulf War. You've sent me to Afghanistan. I've put my life in danger for 15 to 18 years, and you're saying that I do not get my retirement? Man, this administration is crazy. Like, they don't care. Like, again, they don't care. They never cared. They never friggin' cared. And black people, you can act like they care about you. They don't care about you either. Because that is why he wants to make the Confederate flag the flag of our country. He wants to bring back those racist statues in the federal government. He wants to rewrite history in every aspect of the federal government. If it talks about black history, he is rewriting that history. He's got a memo. That's where he is. That's what he is. That's how he keeps his cult in line, because that big, beautiful bill is not going to help them. It's going to hurt them. So he has to continue to just, all the hate, just feed them. He's got to keep feeding them all of the racism and the bigotry. It makes them happy and tame. It's kind of crazy. So last, real quick, this was a tariff week. I don't know what today is. Today the 7th, maybe it is August 7th. The tariffs they're in effect, I guess. Who knows? Because they're in effect, they're not in effect. Some countries, not all countries. I don't know. It's all over the place with these tariffs. Yeah, Michelle, I don't know how the Dems are going to come in and clean up all this mess either, because it's going to take really 10 years to clean up this mess. So the import rate now is 18.6. It's the highest it's been since 1933. So who is being tariffs on? Brazil, tariffs on Canada, some goods coming from Canada. India is being tariffed because he's pissed at them because they get Russian oil. You may say, well, what are we getting from those countries? Let's see. Copper, autos, auto parts, steel, aluminum, apparel, textiles, smartphones, laptops, just a few of those things. From the EU, I think that is like the one deal that he may have, is with the EU. I forgot, what was that tariff rate? EU, 15%. So the EU is being tariffed 15%. So that means that we are going to eat the cost. Is there anyone out there that doesn't understand that or does not believe that Americans will eat the cost if the EU is being tariffed 15%? Even if it's only 15%, when the importer, like if I'm the importer and I go to the dock and I'm like, oh, my pharmaceuticals are coming in, and I have to pay what? 15% more to get these things in? Oh, I'm going to charge you more money, right? So 60% of our pharmaceuticals come from the European Union, the EU. 60%. Ozempic, Botox, Keytruda, that's a cancer drug. I think it's Rinvoq or Rinvoq. It's for arthritis. Like, those are just a few of the things that are going to cost more money. And if you don't believe that the tariffs are going to impact you, which I don't know how you wouldn't believe it, because the price of dolls are already going up, and all of the toys we basically get from China, those things are things are going up, like they just are. And here is how do you say his name? Besant, talking about the tariffs and saying the quiet part out loud. Last video, guys, bear with me.
And some confusion. So we've got a tariff of what, 50% on Brazil now, I think. And so if someone here, an importer, wants to buy Brazilian products today or tomorrow and import them, they're going to pay 50% to the Treasury. And so who writes that check?
Well, a couple of things. First, we could have substitutions, so there's very little that only comes from Brazil. It could come from Argentina, it could come from...
right, but assuming it does come from Brazil, say, or it comes from any country with a tariff, who writes the check to the Treasury?
Well, the check is written to the person who receives it at the dock in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. The check is written by the person who receives it at the dock. So the tariff is paid in this country by the importer. Is that right?
But the Brazil
tariff is paid in this country by the importer. Importer coming in. Importer. Tariff is paid by the importer. So the importer is going to put the cost that they just paid to us. Understand?
An exporter could decide that they want to keep market share. They could lower their price so that the full 50% of the tariff, say, and
right, they could eat part of the cost. They could eat part of the tariff,
which is what we've seen.
Okay. But the check is written by the importer, right, at the dock.
Yeah, and then the importer can pass it on or not.
The importer can pass it on or not. Do you think the importer is not going to pass it on? If they're paying 50% more at the dock, do you think the importer is like, you know what, I'm just gonna eat this. I'm not gonna pass it on to anyone. I'm gonna eat the cost. They'd be out of business. Trump's tariffs are wild, y'all. They are wild, but it is late. It is 8:15. I am glad that I did pop on here and I got to talk it out with you guys. It's kind of cathartic, not lethargic. I am lethargic, but it's cathartic to do that. So thank you. Please remember to like this video, share, subscribe to this channel. Thank you to any new subscribers that I have. Baby Juggernaut, thank you for stopping in. Michelle, thank you for listening while you're doing your yard work. That's amazing. It's dark, girl, so I hope you're still not outside because the mosquitoes are going to get you. I will talk to you guys. I don't know if I'll be here next Thursday. I can't guarantee that. We'll see. But have a good night, everyone. Be safe out there. It's kind of crazy. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, anyone else that's watching and that is not in the chat. Good night, Michelle.